the goddamn drums that you play at your games, you know, it just drives me absolutely insane.
He goes.
Two rival fans.
Ebery Eze scored the winning goal in the FA Cup final and eclipsed any achievement in the history of your whole football club.
I don't think Eze's going to stick around. I think Mitoma is.
5 rounds of fierce debate.
You talk about legacy. Lewis Dunk, he's one of our own.
Glenn Murray is your top goal scorer by about 100 goals and he gave his best years to Crystal Palace.
Bragging rights up for grabs.
I mean, you're a mediocre mid-table club.
You're like bin dipping, thieving chickens.
Each player must use their time wisely before whacking their big red button to pile the pressure on their opponent.
Best players in your history play for Chelsea.
You could hold on to your Zaha like it was a prime Ronaldinho and cry about it.
Best of 5, winner takes all. This is SunSport Stoppage Time. We've got Niv representing Brighton and we have got Scotty Stacks representing Crystal Palace in the M23 derby, one of the most tragic derbies the Premier League has ever seen, but these two rivals care about it passionately. Lads, this is round 1. It's Scotty to speak first. You've got a minute on your clocks and the topic is Kaoru Mitoma is better than Ebery Eze. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ebery Eze is one of the most beautiful stories in football. He's the opposite of a wonder kid. This is someone who was released repeatedly as a child, released repeatedly as a teenager, still gone through the championship player of the season, risen up through the ranks at Crystal Palace, now one of the most creative players in the whole Premier League.
Kaoru Mitoma, a classic example of buy low and let them flourish into an absolute wonder kid, which is what I feel he's exactly doing, and he's got many, many more years to prove that. Studying a diploma in dribbling at university, that's a talent in itself, I feel, and he's showing that exactly on the pitch right now, and he's going game by game and tearing defences apart. I don't think Eze's going to stick around. I think Mitoma is.
I mean, it's ironic you talk about players not sticking around, or all of your best players can't wait to get out of the club. At the end of the day, the only thing Mitoma has achieved in his life is the piece of paper with a diploma. I'm not sure if you remember, but a few weeks ago, Ebery Eze scored the winning goal in the FA Cup final for Crystal Palace and eclipsed any achievement that any Brighton player has achieved in the history of your whole football club. It's not a discussion, mate.
That's fine. All well to say that. However, Mitoma has scored big goals, knocking Liverpool out in the FA Cup. That took us towards the semi-finals, and we may not have won it, but he still has had big moments. And I think he is only going to get better. I'm confident in myself that Mitoma is a far better player than Eze.
So Mitoma's best moment is knocking Liverpool out in the FA Cup semi-final when we won the FA Cup.
You may... He's done me there.
Listen, he's one of the most creative players in England right now. He went to the Euros. He's got the most flair in the England squad. Box office.
Time.
I still stand by what I say. Mitoma, Japanese talent. He's brought so much.
Time, gentlemen.
That was hard.
How'd you think you got on?
No, that was hard. I thought I wanted to bring up the whole diploma thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a bit of a standout, but of course. I knew the FA Cup final was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up.
And were you prepared for it, Niv? Were you prepared?
Not with that one, I don't feel.
I must admit, that was our first ever freeze on stoppage time, I think. I don't think we've ever had anyone not say a word and then press the button again. So, Scotty, fair play. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sweet, confident. Good one to ease us in.
Diploma in dribbling is elite level stoppage time content, I would just like to say. I didn't know that. I thought, wow, he's off to a strong start here. But to be fair, Scotty, you cover drove that one and you batted the rest of them away. A couple of nice little bits about he's the, was it the reverse of a wonder kid?
The opposite of a wonder kid.
The repeat
nice
release.
Angle,
I like that a lot. I think you batted away the Mitoma point. So unsurprisingly, I think, Niv, the first round of stoppage time goes to Crystal Palace.
Come on, you Palace. Come on. Yes.
It's round 2 of stoppage time. It's Niv to speak first. There's 30 seconds on your clock. And the topic is, this is a serious matter. The seagull is a far superior bird than the eagle. 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, I think the seagull is a far superior bird than the eagle. I mean, you're a mediocre mid-table club. You know, you've been in the Prem for what? about 10 years now, and you've only achieved mid-table stuff. We've achieved Europe already, and we've only been here since 2017. So
I think the Eagles-Seagull comparison is the perfect dichotomy of a Palace and a Brighton fan. Eagles, they soar high, they're majestic. No matter what the sky brings, rain or shine, we're still there, we're navigating it. Seagulls, you're like bin dipping, thieving chickens. Like, you come, you make a load of noise, and then you all leave, you nick sausage rolls off children. Like, it's a perfect example of a Palace and Brighton fan.
That doesn't matter. You and your goddamn drums that you play at your games, it drives me absolutely insane. We have already had a taste of Europe. You haven't yet, and it looks like you might be... Oh.
Mate, it's like you're like a pigeon on crystal meth, man. Get out of here.
There we go. That is why people watch Stoppage Time. That is world-class content right there. You're like a pigeon on crystal meth. This is exactly why I got into football journalism, for discussions like that. Scotty, just talk to me there. I mean, it feels like this is something you've given quite a lot of thought to.
I'm as a nature and animal lover, it's a subject I feel quite strongly about. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was quite an easy one for me. I didn't have to do much prep at all, I'll be honest.
Niv, given again, I mentioned it was a very serious debate topic indeed.
Yeah.
What it felt like your tactic was repeat the topic at the beginning and say, I do think the Seagull's better than an Eagle, and then speak about drums and fans and footballing achievements. Is that just because your ornithological knowledge isn't quite up to scratch? I've got no idea whether ornithological is the correct word, by the way.
No, I felt like I wanted to bring up the mediocre thing. It's something that stuck in my mind straight away because they are a mid-table club. The only way they've gotten to their European place is through the FA Cup final. So
I didn't hear a great deal from you. I was hoping for like wing structure, like ability to swallow a chip whole. Like this was supposed to be a serious football debate, and all I heard from you was footballing achievement. So again, unfortunately, Niv, unsurprisingly, round 2 of Stoppage Time goes to Scotty and Crystal Palace.
Eagles!
Crumbling under pressure.
It's round 3. It's Scotty to speak first, and there is 2 minutes on the clock. So this is the most time you have got to speak for the entirety of Stoppage Time. So make sure you make it count. And the topic is Brighton have had more iconic Barclaysmen than Crystal Palace. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Palace have had some of the most iconic players in recent history. Wilfried Zaha, the most fouled player in Premier League history, scored a brace at the Amex in the playoff semi-final the year we got promoted. Yannick Bolasie, Jason Puncheon, Mitoma. These are like iconic, generational legacy players that will be remembered far beyond their years. Brighton have not had one single player that comes close to being a Barclaysman in their history.
I disagree. You talk about legacy. Lewis Dunk, he's one of our own. From Withdean to Wembley, everywhere we go, he's an absolute icon. And that's just one, to name a few.
For your best ever player to be a clogging old centre-back, falls over all the time, embarrassed himself when he finally made it into the England setup, I'll be honest, Lewis Dunk wouldn't get into a list of top 10 Palace centre-backs ever. This isn't even the definition of a Barclaysman. You're talking about iconic, exciting players that will leave a mark on history and leave a legacy far beyond Brighton. Do you think anyone outside Brighton actually cares about Lewis Dunk?
I mean, we don't have to talk about Dunk. We can talk about another player, Bobby Zamora, Leandro Ulloa. Ulloa, big goal in the playoffs against Middlesbrough. That was absolutely iconic. So you can bang on about Dunk and give him as much hate as you want, but there's just a few more other names that have done wonders for us.
I'll be honest, lucky I know football because I don't think anyone else would know any of these players that you're talking about. You talk about Mitoma alone, Mitoma's celebration alone. I know you're a West Ham fan, you can talk about Bobby Zamora. Mitoma's celebration alone eclipses anything that Leandro, whatever his name, or Bobby Vanarama did in any league in any of their careers.
I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this nonsense. Let's actually bring up Murray. You might have had Murray, but we nicely took him under our reign and let him just flourish a little bit more under the Albion.
Glenn Murray, I can't believe you brought him up. Glenn Murray is your top goal scorer by about 100 goals and he gave his best years to Crystal Palace. We took him off you on a free, he scored 30 goals, got us promoted, and then we shipped him out on loan to Reading when we didn't need him anymore, and he went and finished. Your fans hate him now because all he does is talk about Palace in his interviews. He's your iconic player, your GOAT after Lewis Dunk, and he loves Palace.
I mean, I, for one, love him, so I'm not one that hates him. And I think he's quite well loved and well received around the club. He'll always be an icon for the Albion and always be well remembered.
Listen, I'll be honest, Glenn Murray to me is not even really an iconic player. When you're talking about Barclaysmen, I'd say Dwight Gale, who was his strike partner, was a more iconic Barclaysman type player than Glenn Murray ever was. Think about Chris Ball.
Well, you've said what you had to say, but I think it's a load of absolute waffle, to be honest. I'm well set and I'm well within my heart to believe that Murray and the rest of the names that I brought up are far more important than the players you brought up. I think they're all iconic in their own way. I think Dunk's an absolute legend. I've already brought him up. I think Murray's done wonders for our club. Yes, he might have done something for your club, but he ended where his heart wanted to be, Brighton. So enough of that. Joa, I talk about the playoff. That was huge in itself, and it's only got us to bigger places. And we're only going to go from strength to strength, really. I think I've covered what I need to be honest. There's other players that stick in my mind. Maybe Pascal Gross. He's gone back to his boyhood club, Dortmund, but he left a stamp on the Amex and the rest of the Brighton Hove Albion fan base. So,
time, gentlemen. Whew. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Niv, felt you're probably a little bit nervous there. Scotty, we'll go to you first. Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Super comfortable, I'll be honest. I don't think anyone's going to even know any of the players that he was talking about, apart from Brighton fans.
I must admit, I did like a couple of
I saw his eyes raised with his Joa.
Well, that's what, to be fair, obviously I've given him 10 points for Bobby Zamora because he's the only ex-West Ham player who was mentioned. Bobby Ladd, absolutely legend. What did you refer to him as, Bobby Zamora?
Bobby Vanarama.
Bobby Vanarama, yeah, that's insulting. So you got -10 for that one, mate. What I will say, just a quick little run through of the players you both mentioned. Lewis Dunk, Bobby Zamora, Ioa, Glenn Murray and Pascal Gross in there right at the end. 5 players there. We're of course looking for Barclaysmen. I got Zaha, Balassi, Punchin, Mateta and Gale. So you actually named 5 each. Obviously we're looking for Barclaysmen, not necessarily the greatest players of your club. We want iconic cult heroes that football fans will remember. Interested to hear you though, Scotty, describe those players, particularly Jason Punchin, as an iconic legacy player. Do you think he would fit into that category?
100%.
Legacy?
His little celebration and that, everything he did at Blackpool in their promotion season. This guy's a legend.
Yeah, Niv, how do you think you got on?
I think I started to find a little bit more confidence than my previous round. I think personally I did a little bit better this round. Yeah, and I'm glad I brought up the whole Joa thing. Yeah. The playoff, it kind of started the road to Brighton's
recent success.
Perhaps. Recent success.
Yeah. And on the Glenn Murray front, were you sort of having any of that, Scotty?
Had to bring it.
I think we had his best years and we don't even care about him.
Is there a great goal scorer of all time though?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And he come to Palace, got us promoted, and then we just threw him away in the bin. Don't even know who he is anymore.
Okay, well, I've got to call the debate, lads. And Niv, what I will say, I think you gamely argued for a few of your players. Lewis Dunk, obviously man close to your heart. You got the extra 10 points, as I said, for mentioning an ex-West Ham player. Just one for you both to note for future. Uloa, definitely a Barclaysman. Uloa, I would think. Glenn Murray, I would also count him the same. Pascal Gross, less so. Describing Jason Punchin as an iconic legacy, generational talent, I think might have been pushing it a little bit. But I will agree, particularly in line with Barclaysmen, the old celebration, that does put you right up there. And although you both named 5 players, both argued them passionately, I've got to give it just based on a more capable defence of their opponent's points. Round 3 of stoppage time goes to Scotty and Crystal Palace.
Oh, Palace, come on.
I thought I had that for a minute.
Come on.
It's Niv to speak first in round 4 of stoppage time. Lads, this is your 15-second round. Quick, concise answers, lots of use of the red button to put pressure on your opponent will do you a favour in this round. 15 seconds. Niv to speak first. Your topic is Brighton's fan culture is better than Crystal Palace's. 3, 2, 1, go.
South American fan base we've brought in through Estepinian, Caicedo. They both might have left, but that's a start. McAllister, World Cup winner, Argentinian fans, and Mitoma. The Japanese fan base is so magical.
All them different countries and your ground is still empty at 80 minutes every single week.
Time.
Mate, listen, we've got the best fans in the Premier League. The general consensus in the footballing world, everyone says it. We had the loudest fans that Wembley's ever seen in the FA Cup final. Listen, there's no comparison.
Time. Come on. Thoughts, feelings, Niv, how do you think you got on?
Ironically, that was the one I prepared for most question marks. I love my thing about culture and I had a whole thing to say about Mitoma, but I've covered the South American aspect, Argentinian, and there's a wide variety of culture along with the Japanese as well, fan base as well, which is still ever growing at the Amex.
Yeah. You've gone with a general traditional sense of
Widen the scope
culture.
of it.
Yeah, exactly. People from all across the world. I don't know whether that quite counts as fan culture. Scott, you went a bit more traditional, I would say, talking about actual fan culture, things like volume of fans, noise. One thing I would say, Niv, to you is, do you feel this was perhaps an item that you could have gone to Scotty about the fact that a large portion of Crystal Palace fans, grown men and women, I would say, turn up to games all dressed in matching black pyjamas?
If I'd had more time, maybe. That was the first thing that struck my mind, what I'd put down about.
If you'd have said that, the round would have been won. Scotty, thoughts?
Listen, we're the envy of the English football world. The old boys and the traditionalists, they turn their nose up at it, but everyone knows, all the sensible fans, all the younger lot, they know that we get behind the team.
Listen, Scotty, one thing I would say, there's only one team in the Premier League at the moment who has copied Crystal Palace's ultra culture, and that is Arsenal. And that tells you all you need to know, my son.
And now all of a sudden they have an atmosphere after 20 years of silence. Fair play.
Right, lads, I do have to call it excellent stuff on stoppage time. It's a quick, concise, difficult round. Is the 15-second one. I kind of know where you were going. The fans from across the world, because of all the different players from different countries that you've got. The question, though, was about fan culture, and I am a bit more of a traditionalist when it comes to things like that. So, round 4 of stoppage time goes to Scotty and Crystal Palace.
It's getting a bit embarrassing now, mate. I'll be honest.
Well, I would have had a round by now.
It's a bit much now. You're right.
I'm fine. Disappointed with that. Disappointed.
Gonna tap out before round 5?
No, tapping out. It's fine. See if I can get one under my belt. Is what it is.
Doubt it.
This is the final round of stoppage time, gentlemen. And Niv, you have got pride to play for. The pride is on the line. The pride of your football club. The pride of the city of Brighton. Scotty, you've got the win in the bag. You're 4-0 up. You need to make it a rout, a whitewash. It will be the first ever whitewash we've had on stoppage time.
No.
If you make this, if you win this round, this really counts, all right? No one's switching off at home. This is your 1 minute and 30-second round. It is Scotty to speak first. And the topic is, Crystal Palace's recruitment is actually better than Brighton's. You've got 3, you've got 2, you've got 1, and go.
Listen, I know what you're going to say, resale value this, resale value that. It means nothing. All it means is Tony Bloom is good at doing deals. However, the reality is we have signed the better players in the last few years, since we've been in the Premier League, the better calibre of players, and they're still at Palace now.
Mitoma, McAllister, Caicedo, just to name a few, all an example of buy low, sell high and flourish at the club. We have got a great policy in place with Bloom. You can hold on to your you could hold on to your Zaha like it was a prime Ronaldinho and cry about it.
Listen, half them players ain't even at the club anymore. Just to feed the club for Chelsea. The reality is, the players we've signed, we've got the best players in our history at the club now. The best players in your history play for Chelsea.
I think in terms of the players that I mentioned, we are great at buy low, sell high. We've done it, and we've made so much profit off it. I'll bring up João Pedro, for example, going to Chelsea recently for 60 million. We take that money gladly and we restock and replenish and make our club even greater.
I make profit this, profit that. Spreadsheet FC, all we do is build spreadsheets. We build squads. You're like, listen, if you spend your whole life mining, you're going to find some gems. You're just mining raw materials. We're building houses. We're building mansions, skyscrapers.
Who's next to Palace? I reckon it might be your Eze that goes. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to hold on to him and cry over him? No, you're not, because he's going to be gone. And it'll be another prime Ronaldinho moment.
Listen, the reality is none of our players have left. They're all still here now. Mateta, Gay, England under-21 captain, best player at the Euros. Wharton, one of the biggest young talents in England. The only player that actually left was Michael Elise, and he's gone on to be Bayern's player of the season in his first season. If anything, I would say he's the only player this year who's come close to reaching Yamal levels, and he actually posted better numbers than Yamal.
And who's replaced Elise? Nketiah, an Arsenal reject.
Ismail Assar replaced him and scored goals on the way to an FA Cup final win.
Doesn't matter. He's going to go next, and you're going to be back to square one, looking for your replacement, and you're not going to find it. I'm telling you, you're going to be dead in the water soon come. It's going to give it a few years, and you might be lucky.
Listen, I don't talk in if, buts and maybes, I talk in absolutes. Listen, all of our best players are still at the club now. Who was your big thing or next big thing? Evan Ferguson, where's he gone now? He's gone to Serie A, he's finished 8th with Roma, he's doing nothing, mate. None of one's doing anything.
That's fine, Evan Ferguson's gone, but we've still got plenty of talent on display. Danny Welbeck as a prime example of someone who's built a legacy as a striker at the club. He's been at the club for a long amount of time. He's scoring goals. And look at him at his age. I think that's pretty impressive. At 30 plus, he's still bagging the goals he's doing and turning up in big moments. So you can say whatever you like, all this waffle, because frankly, I'm quite sick of it.
Time, gentlemen. Absolutely extraordinary
I had to do
stuff.
what I could. I had to do what I could.
Niv, what I will say, that was by far and away your strongest round. How do you feel it went?
Well, that's
well,
great
you
to
tell
hear.
me.
Yeah,
I feel this is a post-match interview, son.
I feel it went well, and I'm glad right at the end I brought up the Welbeck factor because I think he's a huge impact on the club. He's definitely underlooked at times because a lot of people look at age. These passes sell by date. I don't think so. He's huge, and he shows up a lot of Palace players.
Scotty, one thing I could see for the first time for the whole of stoppage time, a little bit of fear in your eyes there, a little bit of trepidation, a little bit on the back foot when Niv came at you.
You've read that all wrong, mate. You've read that all wrong. I could have spoken for 10 more minutes, I was fine.
How do you feel you went, like facts and figures wise, some of the players you named? Because to be quite honest, Niv had a few up his sleeve there.
Super comfortable, man. When this guy's talking about Danny Welbeck, we might as well just finish it now.
Right, so the players that you mentioned, I believe, were Mitoma, Caicedo, Danny Welbeck, and one beginning with Z, I think. That I can't remember. It was probably Zamora again. We'll assume it was Zamora again. I didn't actually hear too many examples from yourself about Crystal Palace players. Well, it didn't feel like quite as many as Niv.
Again, Gay, Eze, Wharton, Elise, Mateta.
I don't remember that many.
Got short memory, pal.
Fair enough. Well, look, I do have to call it. That was very, very close. I think, Niv, best performance of stoppage time from you by a million miles. Scotty's looking nervous because he knows Niv gave him a run for his money. The whitewash is on the line. It would be stoppage time history were I were to award this round to Niv. I had to even get the producer in my ear to give me a hand to call it. He has spoken, and I can declare and confirm that round 5 of stoppage time, Brighton versus Crystal Palace, Niv versus Scotty, goes to... It's Scotty and Crystal Palace. It's the first ever stoppage time.
Come on.
They scored 5. They scored none.
I really thought I had that one.
Well, listen,
it's fine.
Well, I'm sure the Crystal Palace and Brighton fans in the comments will be letting us know whether they agree with the 5-0 judgment, whether Niv deserved the point right at the end there. If anyone can argue that he deserved the point beyond that, I'll be delighted to hear from it. But Scotty, how do you feel that went?
Easy, mate. Comfy. Just what I expected. Nice pre-season run out. You know what I'm saying? Get the legs moving. Calm.
I hope you get relegated now.
Well, there you have it, folks. The final whistle blows on another M23 derby here on Stoppage Time, and that one was way more vicious than some of the real-life ones we see on the pitch. But this time, it is the Eagles soaring highest. Scotty with a 5-0 victory. Hard luck to the Seagull. Stoppage Time history witness right here. Niv, get yourself a meal deal that might cheer you up.
I will do. A very good one as well.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and let us know what you thought of our debates and what the lads had to say in the comments, and we'll see you next time on Stoppage Time.